How many what? Good. Good evening, and welcome to Niche Talk, coming to you live from Belgium. With my co-host and my partner in crime, Grace. Good evening, Grace.
Hello. Hi.
In the Niche Talk, we talk about everything niche, lifestyle, and so much more. For those of you who do not know, NICHE is an acronym for a holistic hair care philosophy, basically a lifestyle for healthy hair. Tonight we have a topic, and the topic for tonight is me and my hair. Now, how often do you have the cultural ambassador that has been appointed by the state senator? How often do you have the chance to talk with her? How often do you have the co-founder of the PET Belgium Human Rights Observatory, and PET stands for People of African Descent, on the table to discuss hair? And how often do you have the founder of the African Tales with you? Tonight we have all these together in the form of one person. Her name is Boalia, and I'm going to invite Boalia to the stream. Good evening, Boalia. How are you?
Good evening, Janine. Good evening, Grace.
Hi,
Hello.
Walia.
Hello. I'm all
Welcome.
right. And you?
I
Good.
am doing great. I'm doing absolutely great. I'm doing great. Thank you. Um, Tonight we are going to talk about, welcome, by the way. And
Thank
tonight we
you.
are going to talk about me and my hair, right? But before we go on, I touched on a little bit about what you do, but you have quite a lot on your, how do they say that? Your bio is quite impressive. I just introduced you as the co-founder of PAT Belgium, the founder of African Tales. Before we go into the hair part, can you tell us a little bit, because of course, I know a little bit about it. Can you tell us a little bit about African Tales?
Um, African Tales is a network, a platform, or a community of Africans and people of African descent uniting around our culture and history. This is a platform that we started working on since before 2008. It came about as a result of trying to um, bring identity for people of African descent, Africans living in Belgium, because when we hear and our children, usually they have a lot of identity issues. And we started working on an education program to promote our history, our culture among the children. And then in the course of so many years of working with the children here, we realized that this issue actually was a broader issue with all the modern technology and everything. A lot of our young children, they get lost in the midst of all this information, and they tend to have problems with their identity. So we started mapping out children across, first of all in Europe and then in the African countries where I mean, to say in the African countries that I visited, because I used to work in the job I did before, I traveled a lot in different parts of the world. And I would come across the young children because I've always been interested in education program for children. So I started slowly trying to find out what are they learning, what is it about African children, what's so important in their upbringing and in their education. So we started this program of bringing in our history, our culture, and started, discussing with the children at different levels. And it grew, and we started exchanging with different countries. So at the moment, the African Tales as a platform, it's a society around the culture and history of Africans and people of African descent. And it's also a bridge between the young children and old generation. So we bring in the folk tales as a way of reinforcing identity, in the children from a very young age, and this is incorporated into the education, and just basically trying to make sure that uh, elderly people are engaged into reinforcing identity among children of Africans and African descent, because if when children know who they are and where they come from, it's much easier for them to actually have stronger be more assertive, know who they are, and it's easier for them to navigate the world, whether they're on the continent or they're in the diaspora. So, and it also brings Africans from across the board together. So it's mainly about education, also community engagement of Africans and people of African descent across the world.
Oh,
Wow.
great, great.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Honestly, it's a bit. I mean, for me being, I mean, I'm Congolese. I was born there. I was one, and I left. So I don't really know about my culture and everything about my country. And sometimes I feel a bit ashamed about that because growing up here, you have to fit within the European culture. You have to talk the language. You have to behave like the people here. And when sometimes people are asking me about myself or about the culture, geography, history, everything, sometimes I'm getting lost because I don't know a lot. And that's great that you're doing something like that. So, yeah.
Well, actually, on the practical side of it, working on in all different countries is that each country's got its own coordinating team,
Okay.
and it's autonomous, and they bring to the table the information. And the biggest part of it is that we're creating a digital hub where anybody can access information about the culture and history of Africans and people of African descent. So this is a digital hub, but at the same time, it's an institution that's also based on addressing education issues and community development, but as a unified people,
Hmm.
not as separate people, but Africans and people of African descent coming together as a unified people, sharing ideas, sharing the knowledge. The people in the diaspora have a lot of knowledge that they can share with people on the continent. People on the continent, they have a lot of ideas that they can share with the people in the diaspora. So it's a cross exchange of information, knowledge, and finding solutions that affect us, but based on our own experience as Africans and people of African descent.
Hmm.
Beautiful. And what are the countries that you are that African Tales is active in right now?
So I think basically, I mean, in terms of coverage, it's across. I mean, almost all the African countries. There are contact points: the Caribbean, Latin America, Brazil. There's in the Pacific, the Indian Ocean islands in the diaspora. It's been a when you start something by connecting something from the start, and then it becomes two people, and then four people, and it's 20 people, and then at the moment, because there's also we going through the decade of people of African descent. This has also accelerated the program. I mean, the connections. So at the moment, I can say we've managed to actually map out where around the world you can find Africans, whether they're in Asia, whether they're in the Mediterranean, whether they're in Middle East, whatever. We've actually managed to link the dots everywhere. At the moment, we try to map out where are Africans and people of African descent, and then find out how did they get there. Get to know about their history. How did they reach there if they're not on the continent? And then now we're working on exchanging on the different cultures. What are the experiences? Because at first, when we started, we would meet people, for instance, from Asian countries that didn't know they were Africans, or people from Latin America that didn't know they were Africans. But with the decade of people of African descent, and also with, I think, more information, more and more people of African descent are realizing that actually they are Africans, and joining that unifying platform of getting to know each other. And
Mhm.
I mean, the future, I don't know how that is going to be, but we wanted first of all to just get to give children to understand that they're not alone if they're in Belgium, that they're Africans living in the UK, Africans living elsewhere, but more especially children living in like in the Caribbean, Latin America, the islands that don't have connections to the continent. It was much more important for them to have that link that they can look up, or even children living in India or Pakistan who are Africans and don't even never realize, their parents never realized they were Africans, but they know that there are other Black people out there because the experiences of them navigating the world, however, wherever they live, it's quite similar. Most of the experiences of Black people, the issues that they come across is quite similar wherever they are in the world.
What I because you just mentioned that, for instance, Black people in India who did not realize or know that they were African. My question is then, where does that, how did that disconnect? How did that happen?
And it's not only like Africans in India. You have Africans in Latin America that even up to now don't didn't even know that they were Africans. It's a question of information. How are they brought up in those countries? Because you also have countries where, whether it's deliberate or whether it's on purpose or just by accident, that they are never told, they were never told where they came from. They were just told they're Indians, but just the only thing is that they were Indians that were different from the other Indians, or they were Colombians that were just different from other Colombians, or they were Hondurans that were just different from, or they were Peruvians but just different,
Yeah,
but
I,
how
I
different they were that they never realized. But now with communicating with other Blacks around the world, it's becoming a lot more easier for this community to understand that, okay, so we come from Africa. Then with their community leaders and people that go out and meet other people trying to find out information, there's a lot more information and getting for them to know. When we talk about like the Black community in India, they're not so many. The cities are not so many, but when now you can imagine that like the Indian communities are using that, the fact that they are Black children of African descent, using that to groom a generation of young children that can be like the top sports people. They can be, like helping them, like asking them or instilling in them the sense of achieving like the other Black children they see around the world. So it becomes important because they sit on television, they see other Black people who look like them, and they ask questions. So this has brought about awareness as well, and of course, communities are forced to find out where they come from.
Yeah, I can imagine that it was not told to them where they come from. But if I look at myself, for instance, I grew up with my grandma who was telling us a lot of stories. And based on these stories, we know where we came from. So I wonder, didn't they had like stories about, the heroes that
No,
fought against slavery, things like that?
when you talk to like communities, for instance, I mean, you're from the Caribbean. Suriname is the Caribbean country. Just right across you in the Latin American countries like Peru and all those countries where Black people didn't know they were Africans. They've always had those stories, but they're always isolated. It's been in isolation, but they're stories that they kept among themselves, that they didn't go out of those communities. And the larger communities where they've lived have never been interested in reinforcing the fact that they also had their own culture. But
Mhm.
you'll be surprised to see that most of these same secluded communities, their cultural engagement it's a lot more traditional and at the core, like the regional cultures that they took from their ancestors when they left the continent. Most of them actually have kept a lot more deep traditions than you and me that's had so much more and awareness that you're Africans. I think it's a question of where they lived. I mean, in the countries they found themselves, how important it was for those countries to let them know that they were actually of African descent.
Yeah. And also I think as well that I mean basically I grew up in Belgium, and what I've learned from, for example, at school from Africa was more about the how do you call it again, slavery and
all
colonialism. Yes. So all the negative parts. So basically, if you, I don't know if it's the case right now. I think with all the Black Lives Matter movement, I know that there were a lot of things that is supposed to change in Belgium, the way the perception of the Congo and Belgium history, because I mean, we were an old colony. But yeah, so that's for me. I mean, this, if I didn't have my parents, of course, it would tell me some things about the culture and how things are happening, for example, for the weddings or for the funerals, etc. If I didn't have my parents, honestly, I wouldn't know anything about my own culture, which is sad, because basically I grew up here, and you can lose yourself by trying to fit in where actually it's a country, kind of a host country. It's not your real like motherland, I would say.
Well, that's been very interesting. Do you feel what you were born in Congo, but you grew up in Belgium, right?
Yes.
Do you consider yourself Belgian or Congolese?
So that's a really tough question. I would say I'm both. It's not the easy way.
And it's okay. And it's okay to feel both.
Yeah. So
and it's okay. And it's okay to feel both. I think what's important is how comfortable are you with being Congolese? I mean, it depends. I mean, in your environment, depending whether majority of the people you come across, are they of African descent or are they everybody else? I mean, by everybody else, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
The rest.
I mean,
because that also help. It accelerates your distortion of yourself.
Yes.
It depends on are you comfortable being Congolese in Belgium with your Belgian friends that are non-African? Are you comfortable?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
this is the key.
I don't have them. I mean, I have a couple of them still from. I mean, they're really curious about Africa, but Congo. I'm telling them what I can say, and of course, when I am with them, I think I'm more selling the fact that I am Congolese, because I mean that's the impression that I have. While with the African, so it's more like Congolese and Rwandese people. So I'm more like into, yes, I am African, but still because I grew up here, they see me more like a Belgian person because of my mentality, the way of seeing things. Even though sometimes I can switch and be more African, but they kind of see me being like the Belgian girl who grew up here, even though I have dark skin, which say that I am African.
Coming to Janine's question, how did people lose their identity, the sense of identity?
Before you answer that question, let me add our other guest to the stream, Mr. Atta. So he can join the conversation. Good evening. How are you? I hope that he can hear us.
Atta? I think he can hear us.
Yeah. Can you introduce him, Walia? Our guest?
If he can hear us, I don't know. Can he hear us? Atta, can you hear us?
His connection is not well.
Can you hear us?
Oops, and he was gone. Okay, he'll come back. Don't worry.
I mean, since the discussions about hair, natural hair.
Yeah,
Atta is one of the I wouldn't say a hairstylist, but a hair designer for natural hair. He's got a talent for making our natural hair really beautiful. He's got magic hands. He can weave your hair into anything, that and he's really superb in that sense.
And that's a good bridge to go to the topic of tonight, because tonight we were going to talk about me and my hair, right? But I want to touch on African Tales, part of identity and hair. We all know the song "I Am Not My Hair." Some people say, well, I am my hair because it's part of my identity, it's part of my pride, it is political, it is emotional, it is so much more. I hear myself in an echo.
So I hope that we're not going to be having.
Okay, no problem.
It's not a
So,
problem.
um,
Well, Atar, hello, can you hear us? Just
Yeah,
wait.
hello,
Can you hear us?
Ball, yeah. How
Okay.
are you?
All right. He can hear us. Yeah. So, I mean, talking about hair, for me, my hair would never be political because this is who I am. It's part of who I am. My hair is just a nature that makes up myself. And uh, why? I mean, we came to this conversation. You've been asking me to be in the program because you've known me as somebody that's always in my natural hair, whether it's long, short, it's in dreadlocks, whatever. I'm just, for me, my hair is very important. It makes a difference. It makes me, when I wake up, the state of my hair actually makes me feel comfortable or uncomfortable. But it's not a political statement, it's just me and my hair. It's about who I am, and I don't make any apologies. Whether if I want to cut my hair, I want my hair to be in dreadlocks, I want my hair to be whatever, comfortable, whatever way. And personally, I'm not somebody that's. I mean, as long as you've known me, I am not comfortable wearing weave-ons or anything. I'm comfortable being in my own natural hair and doing anything I want to do with my own natural hair. So it's a spiritual journey for me because if I'm not feeling comfortable with my hair, my day is spoiled. And we're talking about also someone like Art, who's a hair designer or hairstylist. When I go to when I happen to go to a salon and somebody's got to touch my hair, it's important that I'm in harmony with myself and the person touching my hair. Because when I go in any place to either to wash my hair or whatever, I have to be comfortable with the person touching me. And that, for me, that's very, very important. Why is it not political? Because I don't allow anybody to determine how I carry my hair. I decide that for myself, depending on how comfortable I'm feeling. It's my hair and it's my journey. It's me, and decide how I want my hair to be. But I've chosen that I'm more comfortable in my hair when it's in my natural form, in whatever way it is. It can be braided, it can be, we our cultures. I mean, we're talking about culture and history. As Africans, we've always braided our hair. People have always used extension with either artificial things or our own hair. There's always been Africans with much longer hair than others that have sold hair to others to make extension. But I I come from a family of a lot of hair. My hair grows very well. If I want it to be longer, it can go longer. If I want it to be short, it can be short. But I'm not comfortable having anything else apart from I can weave my hair with the mesh, but the plastic mesh, because I want to have my own to connect with myself. So that's my story with my hair. It has to feel as natural as possible.
Okay, you are saying that to you it's not political, but we have seen numerous examples in different countries where um, natural hair or Afro hair tends to be political because of the way people wearing their hair in a certain way. For instance, in dreadlocks, or being asked to cut it off because the fact that they um, come over as someone that can be threatening to the society. So I do understand that hair, natural hair or Afro hair, or how we want to call it, is now also considered political. There are examples of children in African countries who were expelled from school because they chose to wear their hair in a certain way. What is your um
Yeah, I understand, and to be honest with you, I've gone through. I've never had problems in a Belgian environment or European environment. Somebody telling me how my hair should be more than I've had. I mean, I've had. I'll give an example of when I
Oh
wear,
my
because I
God,
wear my hair
Latisha.
in
I
dreads,
don't know what is wrong with
and
my
it's very just in the African context. It's all lack of information. You know, when we're talking about culture and sensitizing ourselves to see who we are, not everybody, not because we are African that we understand ourselves, who we are. You know, a lot of us, because of all the information that we've had for generations about this is not good, that's not. So people tend to think what is natural and culturally okay and has been for centuries is not okay because of lack of information. This is where, like, for instance, for yourself, that's working within the hair industry, we need to sensitize when we're talking about culture. It's not, that's why I said the diaspora, both the diaspora can teach Africans on the continent can also educate people in the diaspora. We need to relearn, to read, to understand who we are as a people. We've always had cultures where people carried out their hair differently, and dreadlocks is not something that's strange. So for any African country that discriminates somebody on the basis of wearing dreadlocks, it's out of ignorance. And we also need to acknowledge that even among ourselves as Africa, we are ignorant of who we are because we've had years of being um, fed different information that this is where we develop a distorted identity of ourselves. And we
fed and
need.
accepted, of course, because if someone tells you something about yourself, it is up to you to accept it. I remember, I think it was 5 years ago, I had this conversation with you about um, um, being natural and being accepted. And um, you told me that the only problem, or the only people that, and you just mentioned that again, that the only people that were commenting on your natural hair were black people, were your own
Yeah,
people.
that is true. And I would tell you, I mean, when we talk about also progressionally, I come from a corporate. I've always, from my graduation when I was young, I've always worked in the corporate world. But the jobs I've had, even though they've been responsible jobs, my
Mhm.
colleagues I've never allowed anybody to determine what happens with my hair. That much I can tell you. Maybe that's the political side of myself about my hair. I would never allow anybody to tell me what to do with my hair because it's very important for me to feel comfortable with myself. But that said and done, I've always gravitated to my natural hair. If I want, like I said, even from a long time, if I want to cut it, I cut it. If I want to grow dreadlocks, I grow dreadlocks. If I want to braid it, I will let Arthur speak about it. I mean, he's seen me for many years how I've navigated my hair. I don't allow people to do anything they want to do with my hair that suits because I have to look a certain way. I've had issues where I'm in a management position, well dressed. Maybe I'm in a cocktail dress, and I'm wearing cornrows, and the black person would want me to feel ashamed wearing cornrows because I'm wearing I'm at the red carpet, and but I would be feeling very comfortable myself. But I would not feel ashamed about that, because I want to enjoy myself, because that makes me feel it's about freedom. And for me, it's I mean, being in tune with myself. So I did not succumb to a public view of how I should look, because about my hair, for me personally, I've accepted myself that I want my hair to be as comfortable as it feels to me. But talking about that, most people that criticize about my hair, I mean, sometimes, like when you're traveling and uh, I mean, I'll give an example, of a very silly example. I'm traveling. I'm coming from Lusaka, it's the capital city of my country, Zambia, and I'm just wearing jeans and I'm having dreadlocks. I'm walking up to the lounge, their business first class lounge. So I'm just on holiday, and I need to, you know, I've had several times, not just in Lusaka, but whether I'm in Johannesburg, people, because of my hair, because I'm just looking casual, they'll stop me to check whether I really fit to be in the
If you're
first
not if you're not a trafficking drug
Are you trespassing?
because of your hair.
It looks crazy. It sounds crazy, but I've never had that from the when I want to go in the business lounge or whatever. This end, like in Belgium, but I get that when I'm in an African country. But also, but you don't have that in West Africa. That, for instance, that's something I think in West Africa, people are a lot more liberated about their hair. I come from the southern part of it, like Congo, Zambia, whatever. People, I mean, I think certain parts of Africa, we should also give them credit. Some parts of Africa, they're also a lot more liberal about hair. So I think it's about knowing who you are. I think some countries also have a lot more education from an early age about their identity. And I think maybe in those countries, like maybe my country, we should also um, take history and our identity and our culture from a young age to understand that it's okay to have dreadlocks, and you're not crazy to have dreadlocks, what
Or
I mean. That you're
smoking
not
weed.
smoking marijuana, that's
Yeah, yeah,
things.
yeah,
No.
yeah. Good evening, Ata. I hope you can join us in the conversation because you have been going um
Yeah, because I'm having problems
with
here.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I'm
that
having problems. My network is not good. I want to contribute a lot. I want to give some tips. I want to introduce myself to the
yes.
people.
Well,
My name is Ata, a personal hairdresser of Bwalia. We've been so many years together. She always want to stay natural. So now, even I think, yeah, she's an incredible woman. The first time that we met, I wanted to change her look. She said, no, 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 no. After this is what I want. I want to be the same. Don't change me. So find a way to make me beautiful, but don't change me. I don't need too much makeup. Oh, that's very interesting.
that sounds like
We had a
Boya,
lot
yes.
of shows. Yeah, we have a lot of shows afterwards. She hosted them. We have a Miss Black Beauty. I'm the hairdresser there. I did the makeups, and I think also the Vitaya, the show with the Mercedes Benz. We've been working so long, and now I'm happy that people are interested in black hair, the natural hair, not only the black hair, because the natural hair, the first advantage you have is you are out of chemicals, you are out of danger, because most of chemicals are, it contains a lot of things that you don't have to use, but the manufacturers, they always need their
I
money.
agree. Yeah.
So I've been now promoting the natural hair from here to Africa, to everywhere. And I'm talking to a whole lot of people that they should stay who they are, with their hair. They should love their hair because we have the most beautiful hair, though sometimes it's difficult to style.
Oh, so sorry. We lost him again. Well, I know Bwalia, I think for almost 15 years now. I've never seen her with a relaxer. I know her as a no-nonsense woman. So yeah. No, not no, in a very positive way. Absolutely, in a very positive way. But I've never seen her with a relaxer, and she's always been very clear on this is who I am. I don't need any in Dutch we would say poespas on my hair.
You take it
So
or leave it.
yeah,
You take it or leave it.
indeed, absolutely. I hope we can get Atta back.
Yeah, because I mean the point you brought up about the dangers of the chemicals to our
Yeah.
hair. I
That
mean,
is also
is
something
very
that is
because
yeah.
it's key. It's I mean it's something we don't take into account that it actually, and also other thing I wanted to mention is that yes, I don't have problems and being with somebody who's got weave-ons. I don't have problems how somebody presents themselves. I do not judge somebody. I judge myself. My hair is about me. I do not impose my idea, my concept of hair on other people. If you have, however way you come to me, I will accept you the way you are, as long as you're comfortable. But don't try and impose your concept of hair on me. And this, in the past, that has been the problem. That people would see me, and I mean, I've navigated different positions in my life in Belgium. I've held some very high positions. Sometimes I'm just on the street with people in the community, but I like to feel comfortable. And it doesn't matter to me where I am, whether I have to wear extensions, whatever. I just want to feel comfortable. That's very important. But I don't want to impose on another person that you have to have natural hair. If you're okay with having extensions, I don't have problems with that. But don't, on the other hand, try and impose on me, you don't look good like this. You have to, I mean, this is it's a similar concept with skin products. I mean, when I first came to Belgium, I mean, several years ago, I've been in Belgium several years ago, I was told that, oh, you should lighten up your skin, the complexion a little bit. You're too dark. I mean, my African friends giving me a skin lightener for my birthday, and I thought,
Oh, are you serious?
I swear to God, for my birthday that I was too dark. But I've never
Wow.
felt uncomfortable about. So I think we all different, but also as Africans, I think we really need to see what effect the chemicals we use on that. I don't have problems with somebody
Very
doing,
important. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when we're using all these chemicals and they affect our health, I think this is something we have to consider. And
Yeah.
and also about the weave-ons we have. Do you know where the weave-ons are coming from?
Mhm.
Who has to pay the price for those weave-ons to wear? We also have to consider these issues and not just
Yeah.
embrace because something is in the shop and somebody tells you you've got to wear it because you look nice.
You look
Who
more beautiful then.
You
Yeah.
look more beautiful. Okay, then let me stay ugly. I mean, this is what you wanted to say. I've always told you. Let me stay ugly. And I'm okay to feel ugly. I don't have problems feeling ugly, actually. Actually, we have you back.
We have him back. Yes.
Do you know something? I started touching hair when I was 6 years. I started touching my mom's hair. Those days, they use only natural hair to style the hair, and it's beautiful. I touched my mom's hair, and sometimes I said, "Mom, can I do something for you like this picture that you did?" Can you? I said, "Yeah, I did my best." So when I was even in school, to cut a long story short, I get addicted of touching women's hair because I just want to give women something special. You know, when you touch a woman hair and she feels good and she look at the mirror, hello, even I know, hey, this is my hairdresser. It's a very nice compliment. So after school, I went to Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah, because I'm from Ghana.
Oh,
Oh,
lost him again. Okay, he'll come back. As soon as he comes back, we'll give him the word because
Yeah, sure.
his
And
connection.
Grace, now we need to hear from the young generation. Grace, how does it for you? What I mean, you need to talk to us about how you I mean within your generation. How is it? How do you navigate your hair among your friends?
so I was one of the first to become natural. So I started being, I mean, I have been relaxed since I was 6 years old. My mom told me that my hair was too difficult and she needed something because I was crying a lot. So she said, okay, a friend of hers just said, "Yeah, you know what, you should try this on her hair, blah, 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 blah." So she started relaxing my hair. I was 6 and I stopped when I was around 25. So yeah, so almost 20 years of being relaxed. And when I decided to stop relaxing, first of all, my mom said, "Why? You're not going to be able to treat your hair." But she never, I mean, she stopped actually relaxing her hair or maybe do like once a year. So I was like, why are you stopping and me, I cannot stop. So it was a bit weird. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to try the journey. If it's working, okay. If it's not working, I will start it again. But I noticed that my hair was so thin and I didn't like the way my hair looked like. So I was like, no, what? I'm just going to stop relaxing my hair. And my friend said, but it's difficult to take care of your hair natural. I'm like, I don't know. I'll see. A lot of videos, a lot of tutorials on YouTube. Yeah, you should try this and you should try that and you should try this. And sometimes it was working for a couple of weeks and then it wasn't working anymore. Um, and then now everybody, all my friends that are seeing me, they're just like, wow, you are able to manage your natural hair? How long have you been like that? I was like, yeah, I can manage my hair. So it's not that difficult. It's just when I'm telling them, you just need to have the knowledge, you just need to have the right products because a lot of industries are telling us, yeah, that's good for kinky hair. But when you check out the ingredients, it's just like so bad. It's not as bad as relaxers, but it's not good for the hair. So basically, that's why people are thinking that, why would I become natural? Because it's too complicated to take care of my hair. But a lot of, I think with the time people are hearing about the effect of the relaxers on the hair, on the health, they are kind of trying to be more conscious about that. And that's something for me. So I created a page which is called Chronique Capillaire de Mayala because I really want moms to realize that, first of all, you don't need to relax your child's hair to be easy to take care of. And also just tell them that their kids should be proud of what they have on their head. It's their hair. They don't need to look like Cinderella or Rapunzel or have long hair and straight hair to be beautiful. So that's something it's not easy because it's really hard for moms to change the habits. But if out of, I don't know, 20 people, I can just reach to one, I'll be already happy.
That's already something.
And also the dangers of the chemicals on little children's hair,
Yeah, that too.
hair or their scalp, of course.
Yeah.
We tend to forget about that. And I saw a documentary not too long ago where especially in Nigeria, there is still a lot of chemicals being used on young children. And I wonder if it's still a lack of knowledge or that it's just
It is. It is. It is still lack of self-realization, of understanding that we are who we are as Black people, and our hair is different because our ideal beauty has always been relative to the more Caucasian beauty for centuries. For centuries, Black people that were in the environment of Caucasian people, they were obliged to wear headscarves to cover their hair. And this is also another concept that we think it's our tradition to. No, it's not everything that we've come to embrace is our tradition, it's our culture.
True.
This is why it's important for us to
Absolutely
go back to the basic when we're talking about culture and history. We really need to understand who we are from a very, very young age, that children know. Atta is there, let him contribute
Yes.
now. But West,
Can you-
I praise West Africans about the
Yeah,
realization of
but
identity. Yeah. Atta?
I
Over
don't
to
know.
you.
I don't know what's wrong with my connection. I have difficulties here, really. So,
I think we lost him again.
We can hear you. Yeah, I mean, Nigeria is not the only country. Whether you're in Senegal, Senegal as well, and the flatter the hair is for people, they feel more comfortable because they really want to relate. But the people you find doing that are not the well informed people. You always find this among people that have a completely distorted idea of what being an African is. They think being classy, being elegant, you need to have that closer to Caucasian look. You know, we
Yeah.
need to go back to
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's also a part of decolonization. To decolonize your mind, your brain. I think
Yeah.
that is also a part of it because I've been talking about this a lot. But if you look at Nigerian movies, and I'm not picking on Nigeria, but if you look at the Nigerian,
you see a
yes,
lot of
you see a lot of the message that I am getting every time is that when you're natural, you're poor. And when you made it, I'm serious. And when you made it, when you meet that billionaire prince, then you come with the weave. So that is the message that every movie is giving.
But Atta, you wanted to say something? Atta?
Yeah, I'm listening. My line is breaking, but you can hear me well, right?
Yes.
Yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
I think there's a delay on his side.
Yeah.
Can I get this thing again?
Sorry, can I get? I didn't hear the last part.
Just
my line is my line is breaking. I can't hear you all.
Okay, we were touching on the topic that that's my perspective, that watching a lot of Nigerian movies, the message that are being given in those movies is that when you are natural, you are poor, and whenever you've made it in life, you wear the weave and the wigs.
No. You when you watch a movie, a Nigerian movie or a movie that is people are just say that if you have black hair or natural hair, you are poor. It's not true. You have to appreciate what you have. That is the first thing. You have to appreciate your hair. You don't have to listen to people. You can't be like someone. And I think
Okay.
Okay.
Coming back.
When
He's
it comes
coming
back, just tell him that when he's back, he talks.
People that I don't want to use the word primitive. People that they are primitive because you can't tell me because I have a natural hair means that I'm poor. No, that is not true. But now you can see that natural hair, if you go the whole world, Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, everywhere, Zambia, Zimbabwe, natural hair is now pumping up rapidly because now people knows that. That's what I said at the beginning, that the chemicals is actually harmful to our health, the toxics and things that they used to. Yeah, we don't see too much of white people relaxing their head. They just do these chemical things for us. So I think you have to stay focused on your hair. You have to appreciate what you have. That's your hair. The good thing is you have to know what will be good in your hair to stay natural, to blink out, and things like that. The rest, I don't think those movies and things we don't follow them. You have to be on yourself, really.
This brings
Because
me
I've
back
been in
to
hairdressing for, I've, I've been a hairdresser. I do everything, dreadlocks, everything, but there are certain people that go on natural, because me, health first. I always talk to people, and you know something, when you go to natural and look at the mirror, you see yourself there. You see yourself there. When people come to the salon and you use natural hair, some of them beginning is difficult for them, but after they get used to it, you put even weave on, they don't like it anymore. I met a lady last week. She was having wig on her hair. He said, "Oh, Atta, this is not extension." I said, "No, I'm not saying it's extension." He said, "It's getting cold, so I just put this wig."
I think we lost him again. Someone here says, funny enough, a lot of girls here are struggling and willing to do anything to spend about 1,000 on weave on. They call it human hair. Well, actually, it is human
it
hair.
is human hair.
It might be,
They don't call it,
and
but it is human hair.
we don't know where it comes from. Well, most of the time it comes from India or from Brazil or whatever country. Basically, you don't know where it comes from.
It comes from a lot of people, and most of people are exploited out of their hair that we have to wear.
Mhm.
Yes, go ahead, Atta.
I'm sorry today my line is not good, but I want to give a lot of tips.
But we can I suggest something, because I'm going to record afterwards what Atta has to say, because it's very important actually that we show it on the program afterwards. I'm going to do that, to make him record his input into it, because it's very important.
Good idea. Yeah.
For a long time, and I think we have to hear from hairdressers as well.
Yeah.
And
especially on the point of relaxers, I think, because there are still also a lot of hairdressers that support the relaxers, and that's perfectly fine. But I do think that,
but don't force it on people.
Exactly, like Grace. Whenever Grace walks in Brussels, they come out of their store to ask her to do her hair.
It's the first time for me. They always think I'm this person that they have to feel sorry for.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot wear your natural hair and just say, "Oh no, but no hair doesn't look nice." You have to do you have to relax hair with a weave. I'm like, no. I mean, one day I just I think it was the fourth person coming in and say, "Do you want me to do your hair?" I said, "No." "Do you want me to do the hair?" "No." The fourth time I told the lady, "My hair is done," and she looked at me like, "Huh?" And she tried to understand what it's a weave, a wig. So yeah, it's just insane. It is insane. For me, I prefer to wear a scarf on my head or like a hat when I'm crossing that area, because at least I'm sure that nobody's going to bother me.
I think this topic is too long to conclude in this. I think we need to have different stages about this. Also, the question of people thinking you poor when you're wearing natural hair.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Like I told you the story of me being at the airport. I'm going into the lounge, and I'm the only person being asked to show my ticket, like I would go in the first class lounge, just like that, because I'm wearing dreadlocks.
Oh my God!
But it's not probably. But that's the sad thing is that rejection about your hair you get is from ourselves.
Yeah.
Other people don't judge much about our hair, but we judge ourselves. I think this is a topic we have to talk about. Why do we have to
So
continue?
does that also mean that when we get it back from other people, it's the projection of what we gave?
Yes. Because to be honest with you, I've never had in my environment of friends that I have, my Caucasian friends have never, they would be shocked to see me, my hair actually permed or something, because they don't know me like that. And because even
It's really very interesting that you say that, because I'm now thinking we have had years and years and years of relaxing our hair, trying to look different than we actually are. And now that we have become woke, we're trying to get trying to go back to natural. And since we have never shown our own selves, this is why now when we are natural, other people look strange at us because they are not used seeing us as us.
yeah, if people are not used to seeing you like that, I don't have that problem with my friends. I've had the same friends since I've lived in Belgium. They've never they've never discussed my hair. We discuss what we've discussed other aspects of ourselves, which has got nothing to do with me as a black person, but as another woman to woman. But it's never been about my hair, because when I come, I mean, I've had to go on a red carpet, literally in my cornrows. And when I'm before I enter, I meet black people saying, "How can you be so disgraceful going in cornrows into such an expensive event?" you know.
Yeah.
But
You,
but
you were allowed, you were supposed to wear your hair straight or a weave
I
or
was
a wig.
supposed to have
And then
maybe ribbon,
yeah.
maybe something to look elegant, maybe. I don't know. But
More
I feel,
professional.
but to me, I feel elegant in my hair. Whether it's short or
Yeah.
longer, I feel elegant. I would feel uncomfortable differently. You see, so it's about how I feel about myself. I've never had a complex about my hair being kinky. I don't even call my hair kinky because it's my hair.
Hmm.
But
I've
not
never.
everybody has that confidence, right?
Sorry?
Not everybody, because last time we were discussing, Grace was discussing that before the school, the holiday ends, the salons in Brussels are filled with children that were going there to braid their hair with the
The extension?
extensions so
Yeah.
that they can look like a princess. So that is that is, for me, that is planting the seed already to um, to feel different than you actually are,
But when
because
it comes to children, I think it's the parents as well.
it is,
I
yeah,
know that
it is.
children sometimes can want to look like their Caucasian friends because their hair is flat. But as a parent, how do you react when a child comes to you and says, "Mommy, I want to look like my friend"? That's where the education starts
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
agree.
the level where you have to sit down, and children can cry, and you don't blame them for crying about,
Hmm.
because you have one child and there's so many Caucasians, their hair is all blowing everywhere, they want their hair blowing. But as a parent, are you going to allow a child that can't speak for itself to actually go and start perming their hair when you know the dangers of it?
Well, it's also the parent, of course, who decide, oh no, it's too hard and it's too difficult to treat my child, my 3 year old's her hair, so I'm going to put a perm in it. And at the same time, also teaching the child, you need to look different to be beautiful, because that is, to me, that is the message. You need to look different because um, you need to look different to be beautiful. That is
No, you
the
mean you
message.
need to perm your hair to be beautiful, not to look different, but
Yeah,
you need
Hmm.
to perm your hair
or
or
have
wear
the braids,
ribbons to be
long
beautiful.
braids, which is something similar,
Yeah,
right?
but
Yeah.
it's, you don't even have to talk about children. I mean, I had a lot of that. I mean, Ata can tell you, but I had a lot of that. People telling me why is, but the same people that used to criticize me about my hair not being straightened or not letting it in weave-ons, after some time, when they saw that I didn't care, I would see them actually doing their hair like me, just maybe cutting it or just having cornrows. So sometimes people can also learn from the way somebody that carries natural hair carries themselves, or whether they, it's also because I could have also said, okay, I'm ugly, I'm poor because my hair is, and
Yeah.
started wearing all these, but I've never succumbed to that. So usually people that are in my circles, they tend to learn to appreciate their hair.
So do you think
And
that
I'm reading here too that and this is from Nigeria. There, no, 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 no. But it's looking more like a thing of the mind. Your hair determines the class you belong to.
that's harsh?
yeah, but in Southern Africa, the one thing I can tell you, in Southern Africa, most professional women do not wear artificial hair. There's
So
more acceptance of natural hair in Southern Africa. A lot of people do not go for artificial looks. They really tend to accept themselves as, they're really intellectuals mostly. It's the same with bleaching the skins, so that's not something that you, I think it's also the education, like you say, it's education in the family. I've never been made to feel that. I never had pressure. I grew up with between my brothers. I never had pressure in my family I'm the only one who usually who cut my hair, because in my family women have got long hair, but I was the only one that usually cut my hair. But I was never under pressure from anybody to feel like I was I was ugly or whatever.
You were poor. The poor village girl.
Yeah, but even that, would you, like a young person, would you actually change yourself just because somebody thinks you're poor or
Yeah,
ugly?
yeah,
Would you
yeah.
change
I
yourself for
see.
another?
Yeah,
This is the
yeah.
thing.
I think
Are you going to accept somebody to tell you who you are?
but that is what actually is happening. It's peer pressure, right? And I know there are a lot of young ladies that don't care or mind what other people say, but there are millions of them that do mind, and that is why a lot of young ladies decide on changing their look just because of that,
Atta,
because of
what's
the
your
fact
say?
to get it, to be accepted, or to not look poor.
Yeah, it's look, if somebody who's older can be under pressure of somebody telling you, oh, go and do something to your hair. When I came to Belgium, the first person I met to braid my hair, not just braids, the braids are just with those that we do naturally. She started complaining, oh, your hair makes my fingers hurt. Your hair makes my,
sure.
I never had that in Zambia. Somebody braiding my hair and complaining that my my
You
hair
hurt their fingers.
being natural makes their fingers hurt more than my hair. Your hair makes my fingers hurt. Yeah, you need to put.
And then they advised you to do the relaxer, right?
Yeah, she was advising me to do that. I said no, and that's not what I want. I just wanted to braid my hair. Yeah, but your hair makes my fingers. Yeah, it's all sorts of things. But
Yeah, and I also think that the for instance, hairdressers like Atta, for instance, they are rare because the majority of the hairdressers are still promoting relaxers instead of promoting the beauty of natural hair.
Mhm.
And oh, he was starting to say something, and then we lost him again.
yeah, just continue.
I think we have to do another call with him.
I would see that we give him a better.
Yes, yeah,
We need
yeah.
to
Because
have
I
a
do
session
think
where.
it's important to to hear from the hairdressers as well, not from the ones that are forcing relaxers to people and ask them to do their hair because they look poor, but the ones that really really know that it is important.
Welcome to the poor club.
Well, I actually never had that.
I never heard about being poor with natural hair. I never heard. This is the first time.
No, okay, maybe you don't watch the Nollywood movies, but it's
No,
standard.
honestly, I don't watch Nollywood movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Whenever the girl is from the village, the poor village girl, she has natural hair. The minute you meet with the man,
I get you. I get she's right, because most of the parts that they will give to the poor girls to play is where they use their natural hair. And the rich ones always put on weave on and
the weave.
Makeup.
Exactly.
So it's like the wretched ones are the one having their natural hair. So I understand you. I get why
you know
you mean.
What we're going to do. I have a couple of friends that are Nollywood directors. I think we should call them to talk about this, because it's very important that we are unraveling
the narrative. Yes.
All the things. I think I'm going to. I'll check when they are free so we can talk about this. I think it's important that they can, from their point of view, what they feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll make sure. I think Rhoda too. She is also a producer, a Nollywood producer, and she's actually the first one. I contacted her and I discussed this with her, and she said, actually, you're right. So in the movie that is coming out now, she made a movie called Christmas with the King. I'm going to do a show with them as well. She made sure that everyone in that movie had natural hair. So
Grace,
it is possible.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Grace, somebody wants you to answer that question.
So yeah, it wasn't easy. But I was thinking that basically seeing the state of my hair, how thin it was, how much breakage that I had, I wanted still to try the I would say natural journey. And luckily for me, I met Janine. At the time, she was doing a workshop about how to take care of your natural hair, and that's actually how I managed to just stay on track, because I know I had a friend who decided to stop all the relaxers, and I said, you know what, I can help you. I can give you some guidance on how you could actually take care of your hair. And actually, she went back to relax her hair. And I asked her why she decided to do that. She said basically because she didn't like her hair like that when it was natural. She preferred have it relaxed, and it was easier for her to take care of her hair. It's her choice. I was a bit disappointed for her, but at the end I said, you know what? It's her hair. It's on her head. It's not on mine. So I'm happy with my natural hair. And honestly, you see them pretty long. I styled it, but 2 years ago, I cut it as short as Boalia. And Janine said, why you cut your hair? You shouldn't have cut your hair.
You didn't even consult me.
Yes. But when I decided to do, because I saw a style and I was like, I want to try that, but I wasn't sure it was going well with my face. And then when I arrived at the hairdresser and he started cutting, I was like, oh, I'm actually doing it. And I said, it's just hair. It's going to grow back. And honestly, it grew back, but even better. Healthier. So I don't regret. So honestly, staying on the natural side is, for me, one of the best decisions that I made a long time ago. I said one of the best because there are others.
Yeah, but speaking as another parent, that you're talking about, the children, and when I have 3 daughters, I always told them, because you cannot, in the pressure of an environment where there's so much, what they see is, like, my children grew up in an environment where they didn't see other Black children, so their mirrors were Caucasian children. It was completely an all-white environment. Mm-hmm. I always taught my children, I said, look, of course, when they were young, I don't know much about hair. I just used to they have long hair. I used to make just natural dreads because I didn't know how to use whatever with but as they grew older and they started admiring, every child goes through that stage of this identity crisis. It's normal. But as they grow older, I told them that when you're young, you can do as much as you can be as crazy as you want. If you want to see yourself, what you want to do, if you want to color your hair blue, pink, purple, I don't care. But I want you to see what feels comfortable for you, but before you actually transit into a young adult that's going to be responsible and growing up, where you have to feel that now you're this young lady that's confident and whatever. I let them just experiment with whatever. I mean, I never really, I don't have to worry about. I mean, for me, we use the same products in the house because my children have just navigated to the natural look, and they want their waves natural. I mean, they, of course, they're being mixed as well. Some have got more curls and the others are, they want more natural look. Even when I would ask my daughter, can I use their what do you call
Blow
it?
dryer,
Huh?
The flat iron.
the flat iron, the blow
I
dryer.
just to try and help to she doesn't like any of that, but as I suppose because of growing up also as parents, we are a good reflection to our children.
Yeah, yeah.
I think when they see that you're comfortable in the way you are, they're not under pressure to run to have weapons. But I told them when they were growing up, I said, I don't care at that age if you want to do whatever you want to put whatever, so that you see what looks good on you, what doesn't. But they've just all just navigated themselves into the natural looks and they're nursing their hair naturally, which is, I think,
Yeah.
it pays off when as a parent you're also confident about, because my children don't see me as a poor mommy or
That's something you just told her, Janine.
they know.
I'm sorry.
Oh, because of you, Janine.
Brought
So
it up.
so they don't have that it doesn't give them, they don't have that concept that's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
being natural. And I use very very very, because I don't know. I mean, it's also just. I mean, I like to look fresh, whatever. But I like things that are as less damaging to my skin, also my hair, as possible. I don't have allergies, but I'm just also very very careful about what I eat, what
And
I put on my
conscious. Yeah,
what
yeah.
I put on my hair. And for me, it's a total. When we're talking about hair, for me, it's a complete health thing. It's a complete person. Me, my hair, my body, everything. I do sports. I do whatever. So everything
Connected.
is a complete thing. It's about my hair, comes from what I eat. I have to do sports. I have to do
And
my
that is something that a lot of people forget. A lot of people are looking for products to grow their hair. They use this, they use that, they use a lot of things, they use a lot of methods. People standing on their hair to grow on their head to grow their hair, not realizing that it is the result of what you eat, what you put
yeah,
in
of
your
course,
body,
of
how you
course.
treat your body, how you
It has
treat yourself.
Mhm.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, people are standing on their head to grow their hair.
Oh,
It is
really?
true. Yes.
I think my hair is still healthy, even though it's still healthy.
Okay,
I'm a 54-year-old lady with healthy hair, so I can be proud of
Yeah,
that.
no, it's the you will not, you can't imagine the methods, the ways to help people grow their hair to, and it's really crazy because all you need to do is take care of yourself.
yes.
Take care of your body, take
Your
care of your health.
nutrition, your whatever,
Know
everything.
what you put into your body, know what you eat. Don't eat,
Junk foods.
Well, sometimes junk food is
don't eat chocolate every day.
Oh,
You
but
know,
chocolate is healthy.
depends on what chocolate, what type of
Oh,
chocolate you
the
eat.
pure chocolate
Well,
is healthy.
okay. So, and then people are frustrated when they eat a lot of garbage, and they're frustrated when they have like hair loss or all kinds of skin things, issues and scalp issues and hair issues. It all starts from the inside, and I think that that is also something that needs to be
That people need to
communicated.
understand. That people need
Yeah,
to understand that
yeah,
what
yeah.
you eat determines a lot about everything.
What comes
Your
out.
skin,
Yeah,
your
garbage
hair,
in, garbage
everything.
out.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Absolutely. I think I'm so sorry that Atta is not coming back, and I really want him to.
No, but we're going to have. I'll give him to do a recording, and then you can share it.
Okay,
Over.
that would be great. I also have a question here. My hair is short, always short, because I don't know the right way and products to use. Here we go again. The product. I'm sorry. That's I don't mean it in
Not
a
in a
negative
bad
way.
way,
Yeah.
No.
but
Out of
but
frustration, I cut
is this
them
a
off.
young
How
man?
do I start? You
We
just
were just
start
talking about
eating
it.
healthy.
We were just talking about it. It's the food
Eat healthy, drink enough
and
water, exercise, just
exercise.
a healthy
Relax.
lifestyle, a healthy
Mhm.
lifestyle. That's all
That's
you need.
it.
And of course, on the outside, you take care of your hair, you do the hair maintenance part, but don't go out looking for products to grow your hair, because if they were there, if I would find it, I would
Everybody
be
would
on
be
Oprah right now. I would be very rich. So don't, the products are just for maintenance. The products are just for maintenance. And don't believe the
the myth.
BS.
Mhm.
Don't the overnight growth. If you have this, Grace and I have this joke on pigeon poop in a jar, because this is also something. Black women are easy to fool when it comes to their hair, and they like to be lied to. If I would tell them I have this jar here and it's pigeon poop and it will grow your hair overnight. If you use it for 2 days, your hair will grow to your butt. They would buy it. Instead of
That is true. It's that is true. But it's the same thing with our complexion. I used to hear girls saying that beauty is today. So they would prefer to have those products that instantly just turn their skin into, you know.
Wow.
well, I think that is has a deeper there's a deeper thing in there, psychological.
It's an identity crisis, actually. We
Yeah.
can laugh about it, but this is we're talking about the culture, the history. This is where we were talking about the African tales, the concept of the African tales of reinforcing our identity. I think at the end of the day, we can say all we want to say about hair or skin or whatever. At the core of who we are is, who do we think we are? Where are we as a people? How do we see ourselves? The moment we realize that we are this human, beautiful, gorgeous human race that doesn't have to compete with any other race. We all different, and we all come in different sizes, but we eat well, we take care of ourselves. We all have very we are all gorgeous in our own way.
Mhm.
Then that concept of wanting to be something else will minimize, I think. It's the identity thing.
Mhm.
It's about, this is the core of it.
Yeah, and this is off topic, but I was having a discussion. No, not a discussion. Me and my mom were talking earlier tonight, and she said something that I think that it also has to do with identity. She said something that um uh really shut me up, because this whole it's in the same line as this Jesus is a black man discussion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the first human being came from Africa, and all this stuff. And then link it back to the Bible. I've always seen Eve with long waving
Rapunzel.
hair.
Yes.
And yeah, and I was talking to my mom, and then all of a sudden she said, "Well, you do know that Eve was a black woman, do you?" And I was like, "You are right." And I never, although I know that the first people came out of Africa, and I do believe in the Bible, and if you connect the Adam and Eve story, then Eve has to be black.
Well, whether Eve was Caucasian, black, whatever, the essence is that who we are ourselves, that's what we have to accept ourselves, that we are that. I mean, we don't have to look any further. We are who we are. We shouldn't try to
But
change
you need to
ourselves.
know where you come from. If you don't know where you come from, and if you are not being taught that you have to be proud of where you come from, because a lot of Black people are not proud of where they come from.
Yes, this is with the identity crisis, because why aren't they proud? Because they still think we are inferior. I mean, because they still
That is
think
also
we are.
another discussion, because what not we. I posted it, I think 2 weeks ago on my Facebook. Why do we still refer to ourselves as minority? But
Well,
that is
no, this is a political statement.
that is
No, this is okay. Let me tell you, as a minority being, in the sense of being minority, not the larger population. This is my understanding of that. By minority is not synonymous with inferiority. It's
but
that
it's being used as that.
it's used. It's supposed to only mean people, less population.
Yeah.
Less population, because if we are for instance, if I'm in Zambia, the majority of Zambians are black, like me, or maybe in a lighter shade, whatever. But we have a minority communities of Caucasians or Asians living in our countries. They are a minority because they're not a large population. That's the positive sense of it. If it's used differently, I think it's wrong then. Minority is not supposed to be in a negative sense. It's just the number of people representing that group of people. Because
Yeah.
we are not an indigenous population, and the majority where we're living there will be Caucasians. But
Yeah.
at one point, maybe if we produce too many children, we'll become the majority. So then we
Striving
can
for
have
that.
a discussion. Then we can talk about why do we call ourselves a minority when we have 55% of the population. Then that question will be ideal to you know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you that the term basically should be used for that, because you are a smaller group in a country or whatever. But that is not
That's the
how it's
meaning of
being
it.
used. That's not how it's being used. And also, I don't like to be called a minority, because the minority gets
Can
another
you use the
another.
term? Use the term you want to, because you speaking English is completely different. Which term are you referring to? The term allochtone?
No, no, no. That's something different. I don't consider myself allochtone.
Are you considering minderheid or something? Are you in
No, just minority, minderheid. Yeah, minderheid. In Dutch, it's the same. Yeah, in Dutch, it's the same.
Well, you know, it depends. For me, I always words play a lot of. I mean, they play a lot on the psychic of people, but I think with education and everything, that I'm thinking that these are things that they have to be discussed in the classrooms as well, from the when there are terms that can be turned into a negative concept.
Yeah, yeah,
Even though the origin of the term is not meant to be negative. I think it has to be, things evolve. I mean, the concept itself as minority was meant just to refer to
smaller group of people.
less
Yeah,
group of people, smaller communities. It was not meant to, but of course, people can always use words to to hurt or harm others, depending on their intent. But in itself, minority is not a harmful word. It depends on how somebody uses it, you know.
Okay. Well, very, very interesting topic. And I would love to get at another time. And also you, of course.
No, we need to get, no, I want us to bring the Nollywood director we need, I'm going to ask, I think we should have that appointment so we
Let's
can talk
do that. Yeah,
because
absolutely.
this question of
depicting the poor village girl. I started something. Oh my God. No, okay. I advise you.
I never actually, I'm sorry, Johnny, I've never actually realized that when you're natural, you're depicted as a poor village girl.
No,
it never occurred to me.
I really want to do that. I really want to do this. Yeah, I really think we should do that show. And I advise you to pick 3 or 2, and only the beginning. Only the beginning. Just watch. I see Neville is on right now. Hi, Neville. Pick 2 or 3. The majority of them is the poor girl from the village, natural hair in cornrows. She's poor. Then she finds either the millionaire prince, or she lands a job because she was lucky to go to university and find a job, or the minute she makes it in life,
her hair changes.
Her hair changes. Actually, her whole personality changed.
Okay, so then on the next show, I'm going to have a personality transformation to show you that I'm not poor.
I'm not that sure. You should now. You should basically how do you say that? You should basically behave different. Yeah. You become more, the minute you marry the prince or the rich man, or you have a job, your nails grow, your hair grows, and you have a different attitude. Your attitude also changes.
Before we leave, that reminds me, I mean, it's many years ago when I met my husband and I married. I was young. I met my husband, I was 21 or 22. I remember now that you're talking about this. I mean, my husband being Caucasian, when we were just dating, I remember in Zambia, people used to ask me why, being with a Caucasian partner, I always just to have my natural, because I was always.
You needed to do the relaxer.
No, there were 2-3 things. It's about my hair, because I, like Atta in Zambia, I also had ladies that used to do my hair. Those are ladies that did hair with natural hair, and then the fact that I would there are certain things I would do, like even just doing normal things. You're not supposed to do normal. You're not supposed to act your normal self when you're married to a Caucasian person.
You have to change.
You're not supposed to do any of those things. And I just people used to ask me, yeah, but why do you have to work so hard and everything? People used to condemn me about all those kind of things, because I was not supposed to do. I was supposed to be the madame that had all these maids and servants.
You can't stay black.
To cook. I was not supposed to work in my garden. I was not supposed to do those kind of things.
Yeah.
So it's not. So it's more. So we're talking about hair. I think it's an entire thing about how we perceive ourselves, what is okay, what's not okay, depending on. I think it's a mentality we have to change.
Definitely.
I agree. Definitely. Yeah. And here, Neville says the attitude changes to it changes to long weaves, skin bleaches. what is the shameful way of thinking, smack of self-loathing. That is exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. You
But
might
this
start
said
to
and
think that
done, you have a lot of people in weaves that are that are not self-loathing. I mean, that said and done, you have a lot of people in waves that are very grounded with their identity. So you cannot say it's true for everybody. You have people in weaves because and it's not because they are pressurized, but they just feel comfortable that way. But they really have they're grounded as in their identity. So it's not, we can also say everybody in a weave is not grounded in their identity. That
I think
Yeah.
that's a
that
very I think that's a very interesting topic
that will
to
be
for the
that will be
next time.
unfair because I know a lot of grounded people that have weaves also because sometimes they just don't have time to deal with with hair, but they just no, never. It's not in reaction to what you're talking about. I'm just trying. It just brought me to the senses to talk about also that not everything that's not natural about our hair means that people are not confident or they don't have a grounded identity.
No, but
That
I think that
there's
what
an
Neville
exception
means
to
is
every
that
rule, and they don't feel
reflecting.
better. They don't feel better. They're just themselves, but it's just because that's what they like and they just know it is easier. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes people just wear weaves because they find it easy, and it's okay in itself, but it's only not all right when people lose their self, the sense of self, I think.
Mhm.
uh
It was a remark
it's a
um
remark when people say you have
your
to behave a certain way when you're married to
you
a
can't
Caucasian.
work in
Yes,
your garden.
you're under a lot of actually that is actually very true. Even here I've seen when people are married to Caucasians, they think they really have to behave a certain way, but why
Expect a different, yeah, 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 yeah.
that is true. I mean, I mean, you should people change. I mean, even people that you've known as just all right, and the moment they marry Caucasian, they just that suddenly they have that change in them. They think, you know, suddenly,
Everything shakes up.
it's like it's a metamorphosis of
No, but it's also expected. It's also expected to from you to change.
Mhm.
I'm going to bring Neville to the screen before we go. It's also expected because I do know a girl that also married a Caucasian guy, and when she went home, back home to I think it was Mozambique, her mother started, and she's always been natural as well. Her mother started to pressure her that she should, and she had a corporate job. She had to do her hair. Why isn't she still not doing her hair? Doing her hair, meaning, of course, doing a relaxer. Not only because she had a corporate job, but also because she was married to this Caucasian guy.
But you know that pressure is not just with the Africans. You do know that, huh? Because I remember. I mean, I have a Thai friend. I have a Thai girlfriend. She's a lot like me, also very natural hair. But she when we spoke about when she was whenever she's traveling to Thailand before, her mom used to tell her, yeah, but when you're coming here, your friends when they arrive, they're all togged up at the airport. You come here just wearing simple jeans and everything. So, because we would discuss when she was traveling and I was
Oh,
traveling, we would be wearing just, for me traveling, I have to be comfortable. And she
comfortable,
was
yeah.
saying that my mom gets embarrassed meeting me at the airport because all my friends, when they come from Belgium, they're all looking very executive. But
Oh my
she
How
had
do they do that after 9 hours flight?
I have no idea. I think they must be changing in the they must be changing. Never would have an idea. I think they must be changing in on the plane before they land, you know.
It's yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but why do we do that actually?
expectation.
That when you arrive at the airport, because you're coming from Western continent, you have to have a certain look. But why is that important?
Um, I think to fill the expectation that people have from you?
I don't know. My family don't expect me to be anything more than they just know me as they don't. I think they'll be very surprised if I arrived at the airport and I'm like, oh, they'll be very shocked.
Exactly.
They'll be very shocked, actually.
Grace is going to leave us. She has another meeting that she has to attend to. And actually, we are also very over time.
It's just Grace,
we are having a great time.
Enjoy yourself. There's a lot you can do with your natural hair, but I'll give you Arthur's contact if you want to try out some exotic natural hairstyles. He's really a hair designer, not just a hairstylist. He can give you hairstyles that people that don't have natural hair will just envy you whenever you're going out somewhere. Believe me.
Okay, that's awesome. Honestly, it would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, she's that crazy.
Yeah, but I gave her
sorry.
This number. You can no, but you would love his work. You would enjoy it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Bye, ladies.
Bye. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah. It is really, I think there is a lot to talk about in when it comes to natural hair lifestyle. I think there are so many items and issues to touch on. To start the relaxers, the dangers, and not even on, and I'm not even talking about the adults, right? Because they can make their own choices.
Yes.
Although I do think,
it's about the children.
Yeah, the children don't have a choice. The children are starting, and I think that a lot of people don't even realize how dangerous it is. You're changing the hormonal system of that child when you start adding chemicals on a very young age. There are so many researches that point out that a lot of types of cancer are due to these chemical treatments, and still I don't know how to get that information out there so mothers stop giving their young girls chemical treatments.
That reminds me. I remember years back. I won't mention. It was a prominent person's daughter. It came out in the newspapers, and that was in Zambia years back, where the young girl with straightened hair. The newspaper said this kid has got style. That still, already years back. I thought to myself, why would that be so glorified? Because she's got permed hair. This child has got style, and that child was maybe 9 or 10.
But that's the thing. That sort of ideal that's been held up, that to be stylish, to be beautiful, to be acceptable, is to have things done to your hair, is to have your hair straight. Whether the hair is in good condition or not, because I've known over time, people who would, straighten their hair, hang on to a few strands of hair. The hair is in seriously bad condition. You have 3 strands long to the waist, but
we keep relaxing it.
We still keep relaxing it, because that is, such is the, level of
pressure.
If the pressure and insecurity that given to people, that they knew nothing else but to straighten their hair, because to them that is more acceptable. And then when they went out to places and parties, people who are that way inclined will say, oh, look at her, she has straight hair, and then they'll go for that, forgetting that we have our own hair, and we should learn how to nurture and to
literally this girl has got style. I still remember that caption in the newspaper years ago, and this is a young child, and I look at this girl, she just had permed hair. She's got style.
Yes, exactly.
But that is And that's also the message then, because that is the message that is going to other young girls. If I also want to have style, I need to perm my hair.
Exactly.
This is how I need to look. If I want to be stylish, if I want to be called stylish,
Yes.
I need to look like this. I also need to perm my hair. I also have to go to the danger of putting a relaxer on my hair.
Yourself,
All the other, with
and,
all the dangers attached to it.
so
crazy,
so
it's crazy. But
as much as we talking about making sure that children are protected, I think the message about the dangers and I mean, like I said, a grown-up having weave-ons and whatever, they make a decision.
fish,
That's
yeah.
their own
That's
decision.
right. I have no problem with but
Yeah.
don't give your child at a young age a complex of thinking that if they don't have
Exactly.
extensions, they're not classy, they're not stylish. The
Yeah.
basic message I would want to send out to the adults. Do not project your sense of beauty onto your children.
Yeah.
Let them grow up to know what makes them feel beautiful, confident.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Expose them to
Exactly.
their natural self and let them decide when they're grown up what they feel comfortable. But if you force it on them, they'll never know the alternative.
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know, because
And it
that-
also, sorry, go ahead. Neville.
Then that was my sort of comment earlier about, you know, insecurity. It wasn't to people who, you know, go about wearing wigs. It was taken from the conversation where Janine said, you know, in the movies, you know, you leave the village, you get into that city, then your hair is grown, you know, things have changed. And
But I'd never.
And then with the
I have to ask my Nollywood director friends to tell me if that's true. I have to ask them that. Is that the reason?
Oh yeah, I
It
really want to have that
and
discussion.
Then the other bit where you said, you know, your friends, you know, said you're married to a Caucasian. Why are you not behaving like?
Why you're behaving black?
What my segments of insecurity and self-loathing was for, not the wave, but for that. Because if people think that because you're married to a Caucasian, therefore you should disown your, you know, heritage,
Different. You
and
should behave
suddenly,
different.
you know, become, you know,
But
a
actually,
boss in the wrong way. Then
people my friends to Caucasians, they're natural because it doesn't matter for Caucasians about we're the ones that
exactly
they don't
Make-
they don't have any say about our hair. If
Exactly.
somebody's going to say, you know, it's because they don't have a say about we the ones that pressure ourselves.
This is where the self-loathing statement is coming from. That is where that statement
they don't have a problem with how our hair is.
Exactly. So that was
it's our own projection of how we view ourselves.
Because you're in the circles of Caucasian women and they're all shuffling out their hair, so you also want to
you know, and
you want to start shuffling your hair too.
and no, but that is also happening with the little girls, right? 3 years old, they are getting these extensions in their hair so that they can do this. And all the while you are damaging their follicles with the weight of the extensions. But these girls also grow up with the idea, I have to have these extensions to look beautiful, because
Okay, but all right.
I want to look like the poor village girl.
All right, ladies, but you know, but that's also not a deliberate. You know, it's because the hair is uncomfortable when it comes in their face, so somebody has to move it.
Exactly.
It's not that out of
Yes. But people, you know,
it's an inconvenience to have that hair. But for us, we think it's it's an up class.
Yeah.
It's the flying hair thing. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much. It's been
it is. Someone says it is imperative for Black sisters to tell the story how beautiful natural hair is. Yeah. White folks will definitely promote their hair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
I mean, you don't even.
Well, it's not promoting
they
the
don't
hair.
even look at promoting their hair.
No, it's
I
not
think
that.
we are the only people. I think we're the only people that is
Do not the
trying
rest.
to. Yeah, that's trying to um, um,
Change ourselves.
find reasons to accept our hair.
Yeah, but yeah, I suppose.
Because why and like Walia said, why isn't this a discussion in other for other races?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No,
Actually,
no, but I'm
that
just
is
telling
true.
you for a fact. I've never been meant to make a choice about my hair in my entire work life. I've
No,
never been meant to.
good.
But believe me, my hair is a point of discussion in when I'm in black environments, depending
Because
on
you look
how
like
I
the poor
move.
village girl. You don't have the weave. You don't, and
No, but
you're yeah.
sometimes
In what
people.
way? In what
No,
way?
even sometimes sad because I do a lot of development advisory work with senior government officials and governments, whatever. I mean, the people that know me, whatever, it's okay. But for people that don't know me, when I'm arriving in an environment and I have to address issues, they're just like looking at you. What?
What is she
Exactly.
doing here?
Exactly.
What is she?
And that's judgment and looking down on people because they don't
Yeah.
have long hair. Is
Why is she going to until you get down to the business, but fortunately for me, I mean, this is not, I mean, jokes aside, I don't I do not fall for, I don't expect, I'm not somebody who actually want people to exclaim and say, oh, there she is, whatever. So I don't care if you receive me as what's she going to talk about, because to the point of it, I'm there to work.
exactly.
So because I'm there to work, you have to take me as I am. So I don't allow somebody to determine because I'm wearing dreadlocks or my hair is whatever. I mean, some once in a while I wear dreadlocks, and some people would be wondering what kind of a person would, they would actually uh, judge you on especially
On the
dreadlocks
way you
are
look,
very,
yeah.
Yeah.
but as black people, this is not a Rastafarian thing. Dreadlocks, you'll find them in most traditions in our African history. It's hair, even extensions. There's people in our traditions, people with longer hair that would cut
Yeah.
their hair and sell it to people with shorter hair to extend their hair.
Mhm.
But that's hair, black hair to another black hair. It was
Black hair,
never,
yeah.
they would use fibers that would, look like, those have been in place. But the concept, especially women looking down on other women on the basis of the hair, I think this is the issue that we have to talk about.
That is, yeah. Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, like considering that you're not worth the knowledge because already they determine who, they want to say, oh, you're looking for whatever. Even somebody would think that, oh, but are you, they want to put in whatever. And I think that's a complex. But
Yeah.
This is
but
exactly
also
what I'm
for the
saying. This is exactly what I've been saying. Is like this
but
is
for the person, also for the person carrying the natural hair, you when you know yourself, it doesn't matter.
exactly.
You don't have to change because you want people to accept you in those
That's
circles.
no need.
It doesn't, because I've never had to change myself because of an environment, because I can be on the streets with people on the streets, working on the streets as a psychologist or a community, whatever. I
Mhm.
can be on a red carpet, I can be whatever, but I decide what hair I wear wherever I am. Nobody has to tell me
Mhm.
what I have to wear.
Good.
But having said that, we are also seeing a lot of people fighting for the right to wear their hair a certain way, um, in the work field, in school. Um, so does that mean that those people okay, I don't know what the context is, but does it mean that these people do not know or are not aware of who they are, or
What do
that
you
they
mean?
should be? Well, we have these stories about ladies that complaining about their executive or their manager telling them not to wear their hair a certain way when they are at the office. They need to their afro hair is offending, or whatever, it doesn't look
Yeah, this
professional.
is. I think this is infringing on somebody's rights.
Right.
Actually,
Yes.
this is when I wear my hair. I'm very fortunate. I've never had at any workplace somebody actually tell me you can't wear your hair this way or whatever. And I've worn my hair in all shapes and sizes because my hair naturally it grows,
Yeah.
and when it grows, I sometimes just leave it, whatever. I've been fortunate. I've never been in the workplace somebody tell me to do that. But I think if I came across somebody wanting to tell me what I should do with, and it's my natural hair, I think that's a court case. I'm sorry. I would take that person to the courts because you're infringing on my rights, and
Okay, but
I would protest because
hear a
it's.
lot of these we hear a lot of these stories,
Yeah, so what needs to happen? But we hear a lot of these stories, and I agree with you.
or
And
complaints.
what needs to happen is that we need to actually massively make it very plain, whether it's happening in Belgium or wherever, make it very plain. Leave our natural hair alone. There should be that hashtag. There's so many
I think it's
hashtags
there
that has
now.
to leave
I think
my
it's there.
natural hair alone or
Leave
stay
Yeah.
my
off
hair
my
alone.
natural hair.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You
No.
know,
I think that is. I
hashtag.
mean, for the past few, I don't know, years, especially a few months now, I've seen a lot more black men and women growing their hair and leaving the hair out, natural hair
Mhm.
out, and all that since the Black Lives Matter uh, um, moment or movement. And so I've seen people on TV. There's a guy whose name escapes me. He used to have his hair bald, and then since coming back from the lockdown, his hair is now out and it's grown and it's slightly twisted. The newscaster, she has her hair out as well.
Mhm.
I think she twists at night and then lets it out in the daytime, and it's lovely. It's fantastic. So many people I've seen, with the natural hair. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I saw relaxed hair recently. I mean, my hair, I'm growing out my relaxer, so I've been wearing braids since July. So my virgin growth is probably just over an inch, heading to 2 inches. So I still have the relaxer, which I'm trimming slowly, and I've just seen lots of people, lots more braids, lots more, natural virgin afro, coming out of hiding. So people whom I've spotted from time to time wearing weaves and stuff, they've just sort of kicked those things aside and they're wearing, the natural hair.
Would you say that the Black Lives Matters movement gave people more
Confidence.
confidence or
I'm
courage?
not
Yeah.
sure.
I
No.
oh.
The movement Black Lives Matter is not about hair. The hair,
No. It's not about hair.
No, but it is.
the
It's
natural
actual
hair
hair.
movement,
Excuse me. Yeah. Carry on.
the natural hair movement started what, a long time. I mean, it's a couple of years already. I think Black Lives Matters is all about people feeling a lot more confident about themselves as blacks, which is very important. But this is not about the hair. I don't know. I've not. Well, maybe because we've been in confinement, I've not noticed that change.
No. Sorry, ladies. I must dash now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we stayed on to let you have your say. Otherwise, we were done. I think.
We're already
Okay.
gone. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Well,
Thank you
it
so
was
much.
great.
It's nice
It
having
was
you.
great having
It's very,
you,
very good to
Ebo.
see you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jane, for the invitation.
Okay. Bye bye.
Oh yes, it's not about black hair. It's just generally. I'm just thinking that people are suddenly. I'm seeing lots more. But anyway, hopefully next time we will continue.
We will. Okay.
Nice.
Bye
So
bye.
how do you say your name?
Bye.
Boalia.
Walia.
What? Say again, please.
Walia.
Boalia. Thank you,
Yeah.
Boalia.
Okay. Thank you,
Right.
Nibu.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
So then there were two.
The diehards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should definitely do this again. I see that we still have 3 people watching. And after this, because it's going to be on my page, I'm also going to forward it to you. After this, I think people will comment on this because normally after this, the stream, people also comment days after. But I definitely think that we should do this more often, discuss these topics more often, and bring awareness because it's not, it's although it's hair, but I think it goes much deeper
It's
than
a lot deeper than
just hair.
it's not
Yeah,
just hair. It isn't just hair because it touches on your well-being, on
yeah,
how you wake up, whether you're going to be happy or sad.
on
It
who
touches
you are.
really
Yeah,
at the core
yeah,
of,
yeah.
because for me, when I don't, I mean, I just wanted to say, I've been to a salon, someone does my hair. If I'm not happy with it, I don't function. So I have to undo it. So
Mm-hmm.
hair is very important. It isn't just hair. Hair is very important. It's very critical to our well-being. It doesn't matter whether you wear it naturally, wear it in weaves, but we need to be conscious of whether it's healthy. We have to,
Mm-hmm.
but health part of it, but let's not force our children into our own perceptions of
Yeah,
beauty
yeah,
and
yeah,
class or whatever. Let children make up their mind. Give children an alternative to make up their mind on what's good for them. As
yeah,
adults, I always tell people, when I'm doing these education programs, I say, adults, they can kill themselves for I care, but let's not allow children to be lost.
yeah,
Give children
yeah.
an
True.
alternative. That's
Mm-hmm.
what's important. And there's no
Yeah,
better
very
or
true.
I mean, if you feel comfortable in natural hair, go ahead. You feel comfortable in a weave as an adult, go ahead. But let's give children alternatives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, to close off, what are the initiatives? Because I know due to the pandemic, there are not a lot of things going on. What are the initiatives or the future initiatives for African Tales?
Actually, for us, the pandemic has been very productive. It's been a good opportunity for us as a, we actually developing a lot of digital proficiency in different countries, because when I forced people to work digitally, it was a challenge.
What's the
But
problem?
now,
Yeah,
because everybody's forced to work
yeah,
digitally, we progressed a lot, and we doing a lot of programs with communities. What we focus on with the African Tales is basically education. We want to make sure there's quality education for all in the countries. you know we focus on Africans, people of African descent, because this is who we are, and whether you like it or not, we are a community. I mean, people say communities or whatever. We are a community. I call ourselves a community because we have a denominating factor that brings us in common, because there are very few countries you're going to go to where Africans are settled. So
hmm,
we really have to thrive at making sure our community thrives. We are
hmm,
not a settled people, and
hmm,
we have to work very hard on making sure that we, at all levels, anybody that's able to, we have programs to provide quality education to our communities. At the same time, make sure that communities at the level of adults, they
hmm.
have meaningful engagements in activities that provide them uh, money and opportunities to grow, that they can support the education of the youth. Because once we have quality education, and education in our community, in our society as Blacks, it's not about passing to go to universities. It's about acquiring the right skills that people, even if they drop out, they cannot go further, they can actually have, you know, a way to look after themselves. We have too many people left off that are just sitting because there's nothing for them to do, not because they cannot, because there's no grounded education for me to realize they can actually make something out of. We have so many things going. Like when we talk about African countries, we have the land, we have a lot of things going for ourselves, but why should we remain disadvantaged? Why not make use of that? So we have to invest in education, quality education, practical education, both for from a very young generation. This is why our history, our culture is very important. That people must know that from a young age, you teach children practical skills using our own historical strength, our cultural strength, and networking with each other, exchanging knowledge. We have a lot of local solutions that can be applied to challenges we have in our communities. So we're focusing, I mean, we are only one platform. We're not looking at changing the world, but we're looking at least having some meaningful impact. That we instill in the people to have solutions for challenges, that when somebody comes from wherever they want to work with them, they already have an understanding of what's going to happen to them. Because quite often programs are set up by people from all over the world in African countries or Black countries, whether it's in Latin America or Suriname, whatever. When those people leave, the programs don't continue because the solutions are not
Local.
and generated by it's not their own initiative. Somebody else thought about it. So we need to work on that mindset, and this is what's occupying our team as an international team with people from different backgrounds, technological background, the historians, the media people, the educators, cultural experts, everybody putting in. And the goodness about the African Tale is that every country is autonomous, so they think about their own local situation, but we come together as an international society to compare, contrast what's happening in Iran with the Africans, because you'll be surprised, we have Africans in Iran, we have Africans in Turkey, we have Africans everywhere.
Turkey, I did know. Yeah, Iran is new.
We have Iran, Iraq, we have Africans there. So all these, and it's an exciting journey actually to have all these Africans from these different parts of the world coming together and thinking that we can actually connect with each other and reinforce the knowledge we all have and improve our society. Based on our common cultural heritage. When you look at it, our cultural heritage is very related to each other.
It's very interesting, really very interesting. I think we should do a separate show on African tales and what African tales can mean to the Black society, to the
then we can
especially to the youth.
Then we can have coordinators from different parts of the world participating in the program. I think that each one of them can bring in their experience.
This
is what it is about. It's about sharing knowledge. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much for your time and your contribution. I really appreciate it, and I really hope that we will have this discussion with
the Nollywood directors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do that.
That's a homework. We'll talk about that. That's a homework. Definitely, we'll do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Have a great night.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.